And during these party scenes, you hear the chatter from people all around you, at ear level, behind you, to the sides, but not so much from the front. Cheers, guys. Welcome back for another video. It's a Maker's Mark kind of day. So I apologize for the lateness of this video. It's been weeks and weeks longer than I anticipated, but for reasons outside of my control, and one good reason. That good reason is I am now content limited. The system is at a level now where the differences I'm hearing are limited to the content that is really well produced. So it took me probably 100 different clips and demo scenes to go through to boil it down to a list here of 6, 7, 8 different things to tell you day and night differences and things that you can listen to yourself. So that's the entire point of this video. Hopefully you have some of this content, if not all of it, and you can go through the scenes that I'm going to show you and talk about here so you can listen to things that I'm very specifically going to mention. For the most part, these are things that are now completely new with the ACURUS MUSE compared to all the other processors that I've had in this room, in this system. Now, there are a couple things here that are brand new content that I've only watched on the system, but I'm hearing effects that I've never had before in anything. So I'm still going to mention them, and you can tell me what it's like on your end. So to quickly address the elephant in the room, because I get emails and comments and questions and PMs. No, the new firmware is not out yet. I'm on a test beta version. No, I don't know exactly when it's going to come out. Any questions about that, you'll need to ask them direct. So that's enough about that. Let's go through, starting with Unbroken. This is a scene that I've used for a long time, and my demo clips are not specifically for testing. I made all of these up, and I have playlists of demo clips to actually demonstrate for people that come in here. Sometimes the clips are about the Dolby Vision, sometimes about the bass, sometimes about the Crosons, sometimes about the Atmos effect, and that kind of thing. Now with the Unbroken scene, it's primarily for Atmos because it is fantastic. Now with the Unbroken scene here, it's primarily about the audio. And this brought forth things specifically that are brand new in the system, one of which is the tactile and dynamics of the bass. And I've got a little bit more to say about that in an upcoming scene, but the concussion of the FLAC hits me in the chest. And by the way, all of this testing is with the Crosons off and no BEQ filters. This is just straight regular content, same as anybody else has, whether it's a streaming show or a disc rip. The tactile explosions of the FLAC and the bass are completely new. Like the 2-channel results, I have in a lot of these scenes now reverb that I would say is in the recording, but this isn't a live recording like some 2-channel stuff, but it's engineered into the audio mix for sure. And it just makes such a wider sound. The interstellar docking scene, specifically after the airlock blows and the action starts, and he starts trying to actually dock with it. You've got debris flying, you've got the bass, the ship shaking, all that kind of stuff. You again have lots of ambient reverb that I'm sure is there in the recording, and maybe I heard some of it in the old system. But now it's just like popping out. It's separated. And that's something that I kind of struggle to put words to. There's separation between parts of the soundtracks. It's like not just an Atmos object in the room, just the sounds themselves. And it lends itself specifically to the dialogue, especially in this scene. It used to be a little muddy, and I chalked it up to, well, it's supposed to be. There's a lot going on. It's not supposed to be, oh yeah, crystal clear dialogue. But now it is. It's still low volume, and it's still behind everything else. It's like there's a layer of sound, but I can understand it. And I don't even have to strain to understand it. Never had that before. And that actually manifested itself in quite a few different scenes where the dialogue, you can tell it's recorded lower, but you can understand it. The Gravity opening scene, a fantastic demo scene, I'm sure, for lots of people. Here's what I'm noticing different now compared to before. The speakers are gone. I have just a cohesive sphere of sound. When mission control is going around your head, around the room as you are spinning, the camera is spinning, you have no idea where the Atmos speakers are. I now have sound between my front heights and my front mains where there are no speakers. And it's there. You can point to the sound whipping around. Things directly behind me, I don't have any rear speakers, are now completely clear. And it's a cohesive sound field as something revolves around you. Where before, it would kind of jump. It would be here and then it's there and it would wrap around. I would never have a real locked in image behind my head, and I never had that before. Now, this is a test scene that I literally had to get out of my seat and check that I had the Croson's amp off. Because now, going along with that tactile and dynamic bass from Unbroken, the Fury tank battle scene not only hits me in the chest, which I've never had out of these subs before, it was vibrating the seat itself. Not like the Croson's, not to that extent. But I never had these seats rumbling and shaking during certain bass notes and during the tank concussion shell knocks, but they do now. And that was just like, whoa, hang on, I got to make sure I didn't screw something up because it was dramatically different. 1917. Two things popped out here in this scene, and this is the midpoint cut scene where he's coming conscious again. Now it's nighttime, he's killed the enemy, he's stuck up in the tower, and he's staggering outside and wondering what the hell is going on. The first thing that stuck out, now I don't know if this sound effect is in there meaning it woke him up, or it's just as you experience the room, there's a drip. And it's another one where I didn't have to get up, but I paused the movie because it sounded like it was in my kitchen. Not just, oh, it's coming from that surround speaker or that front side speaker. No, it sounded like there was a dripping faucet in my kitchen. And it's in the scene. It is, you're in the room and there is some water dripping from the ceiling and it's hitting the floor. And it is just there. You don't have to think about it. And it's just so freaky. I've had that in just a couple other scenes. There was a movie about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The name escapes me at the moment, but there's a section of that where they're walking into the studio. I believe it was the first time. And there were sounds in the studio that sounded like they were in my kitchen. And I had to look because I thought somebody was talking in my kitchen. But 1917 never did that before. And I've watched this scene many times because it's a really cool Atmos scene for the next part, the flares. Before, they were in the ceiling, they were definitely locked into speakers, and you could, there's a flare up over top of me and that kind of thing. Now, it is a bubble. You can hear the flares start low and go high and go over in front of you and over to the side, and you have no idea where the Atmos speakers are. Never had that before. A real quick note about almost all the Dolby Atmos demo videos. I've had them all. I deleted most of them because I watched them. They weren't anything special. Never going to watch them again. I don't keep things that I'm never going to watch again, and that was it. Well, the guys at ACURUS very early on this project said, hey, rewatch such and such Dolby Atmos demo videos because you might be surprised. So I did. And I was very surprised because now they are completely different than my first plays. Specifically, there are many other examples, but specifically the Dolby Leaf demo video. Absolute pinpoint precision with that little helicopter seed whipping around. I mean, it's just, again, speakers completely disappeared. And then last, this one blew me away for a couple of reasons. One, because Andor is my favorite thing to watch, period. Absolutely fell in love with season 1. Season 2 did not disappoint. It amped it up. No spoilers. Not going to get into anything like that. But the party scenes, specifically at the end of episode 1 and the beginning of episode 2. I noticed something and I had to stop it. I'm not just saying these things for dramatic effect. I had to pause as I was watching just because I realized what I was hearing. Now, again, this may have been there before. You may hear it right now. It may just be a really great mix, but I have never had this experience before in anything on any system. When you're in the party scenes, it is like you are in the room itself. And during these party scenes, you hear the chatter from people all around you, at ear level, behind you, to the sides, but not so much from the front. But it's all around you. There's depth to it. And then you have the main dialogue going on, deadlocked onto the screen. You have sounds off to the sides, but it's totally separated. And that takes me to something that I'm noticing throughout. There's just a pinpoint separation of elements in the system. Now, I don't know how much of this is attributed to the processor itself and or the amps. I know they both have things that are about signal separation, but the combination works. And you're just getting things that are popping out, and it adds such a depth and realism that I've never had before, flat out. There's just no comparison. So I hope this has been helpful to you. It's been an adventure here, that's for sure. I look forward to more coming, but this will, I think it has to wrap up my direct comparisons, because from here on forward, it's new content, stuff that I hadn't experienced on past systems. So it's an all new journey. That's it. Drop your comments if you have any questions that I can help answer, and we'll see you next time.